Hi.
Hello, Iffy. How are you?
I'm doing well. How are you?
I'm doing well. Thank you so much for joining us here on the Daily Political Briefing. We really appreciate you talking to us today.
Oh, no problem. No problem.
Yeah, so you are many things, but one of the things is an immigration lawyer, correct?
Yes.
And you're based in Houston, Texas. Before we just kind of jump into that, could you just tell us why you chose immigration as your field of practice really quickly?
Well, I'm assuming, if no one could tell by my name, I am Nigerian. I'm from the Nigerian descent. And although I was born in the United States, I had family members that had to go through the immigration process. And I've seen how stressful it could be. Interesting fact, though, is in law school, I did not want to do immigration. I actually stayed away from immigration. I was like, I'm not taking any immigration classes. No, everything. I would stay away. But my final year in law school, I volunteered at a naturalization clinic for a candidate. He was running for a political position. And I felt so fulfilled. Yeah, I felt so fulfilled. And I was like, okay, I was doing this just to get my pro bono credits up.
Because we need the degree. We see it on the wall there.
Oh, yeah. But yeah, I was doing it to get my pro bono credits, not knowing that that was actually going to be part of my calling. So it all worked out. And upon graduation, I interned for a year at an immigration firm, and I grew to love it. And that led me to where I'm at now.
So here we are. Okay, good. I just thought it'd be important, that we get a little background, a foundation of who you are, where you come from, and why. And so let's get into some immigration topics, right? So from our understanding, and we're leaning on you to help us understand this, President Biden has reversed what they call the public charge that was enacted under the Trump administration. Yeah. Can you tell us what that public charge, what is that, and what does that mean?
Okay, so the public charges, it's also called the wealth test. Essentially, let me just speak my truth. I feel that Trump put that out there to deter people from becoming permanent residents. What that application did was if you received any type of public benefit and you had no legal status, you wouldn't qualify to become a permanent resident in the United States. So that actually affected a lot of families that have children that were getting some sort of public assistance, whether it be for medical use or food stamps. It was hard to determine if those food stamps were actually going to all family members or if it was just going to the children that had legal status in the United States. So really the public charge or the wealth test that was administered by the Trump administration was really just to deter people. Yeah. And so during the coronavirus, we're still in the pandemic, but at the height of it earlier last year in the summer, there was a judicial decision that enjoined and invalidated the enforcement of the public charge or the wealth test, right? Okay. Well, the Department of Justice actually appealed that. And so we were waiting for a decision from the appeal. However, on March 9th, they ended up withdrawing, right? And I believe they withdrew because now we're in a different administration. Right. Biden. So they probably knew that they were going to lose. So they just withdrew it.
And so now there's been a repealing of a wealth test, means test, if you will, right? Yeah. For people to gain citizenship.
Yeah.
Okay, so we love to see it more. Would you say that's more humane?
Of course, definitely, because like I mentioned earlier, you have lots of families that are getting some sort of public assistance, right? And they needed to survive.
Right.
And if you're now telling them, because you're using this to survive, you will not gain legal status, that's also preventing them from, getting work authorization so they could actually make a living for their family
Right.
to, eventually get off public assistance.
Right.
So the whole test didn't make sense to me. The application didn't make sense to me. I'm just glad that we're over it, and everyone else is too. Yeah,
I am as well. That it makes sense when you look at it from a position of trying to be intentionally cruel. So it makes sense there. That's where it makes sense. So we're glad that that's overturned. So can you tell us a little bit about what is TPS? What does that mean?
Okay, so TPS is also called temporary protected status. It's available. I'm sorry?
Who gets that?
So it would be non-immigrants that are coming from countries that have some sort of, how do I explain this? Like war or political issue. Right now, I believe it's available to El Salvador, Haiti, Honduras, Nicaragua, Sudan. So it's kind of broad, but it really gives people that are in the United States from those particular countries an opportunity to work in the United States legally and not have the fear of getting deported. So it doesn't give them like an opportunity to become a legal resident, but it allows them to be here legally.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. And you mentioned Sudan, which is not below our southern border geography, over there on the other side of the pond. So it's not just limited. So from my understanding, this is kind of like war-torn places, if you will, or fleeing from violence, if you will, disabled governments, but it is not solely for people below the border.
No, it's not.
Right.
And there's a selection process that that they have to go through before they pick which countries are eligible for TPS. Yeah. Recently, last week or so, Venezuela just got added to the list, and so anyone that is from Venezuela who was in the country, I believe, before March 9th could potentially be eligible to get it. But there is a catch to it. Now that it's been open for Venezuela, it's only open for 180 days. So if you're from that country, I advise that, you put your application in ASAP, because by, I think, September 5th or around that time, it's going to be closed.
Yeah. Okay. So all of my Venezuelans, please make sure you get that in, because we want you to go through the legal process, right? Since there is a process, we want you to go through the legal process, and we love to see that the Biden administration is being a lot more humane than the previous administration. We mainly focus on the border, which I'm glad that you mentioned Sudan, because it kind of took us away from the border. But we mainly focus on the border when it comes to immigration. But there are so many other immigrants, right? You gave us a little bit of history about your own family situation. You talked about Sudan. We know for a fact that there are European immigrants that come over here and overstay their visas, but nobody ever seems to be upset about that. We only focus on the brown ones. But my question is, in your practice and scope of people, you do have clients outside of those that are coming from below the border, correct?
Yes.
Okay. So let's just put those people in a pool, right? The people from below the border, and then everybody else. Some of the challenges that we see from people below the border, are your other clients experiencing those as well? Like, let's say somebody is here from, I don't know, let's just take Nigeria, since that's where you said you were from. Someone is coming over here. Are them and their family trying to immigrate here? Do they experience some of those same challenges and issues as people that are on the border?
Definitely. It's just presented differently. So I believe that people on the border, why they're highlighted so much is because they could, well, prior to the wall and all that, they could essentially walk across and step
Mhm.
into America.
Right.
Now, people from Nigeria or the UK, China, they have to fly over here.
Right.
Yeah, and so for them, most of them, when they come in with some type of entry, right?
Mhm.
Whereas people that cross, they usually don't. Um,
Okay.
but when they come in, they overstay, and now they're back in the pool with people that don't have any status. So I would say they definitely do eventually have the same struggles because ultimately everybody is trying to get some type of legal status, right?
Mhm.
Everybody wants to be here and not get deported because
Right.
there's something here in America that provides them a better opportunity from their home country,
Right.
quote unquote. So I do believe that they end up having similar issues.
Mhm.
But honestly, everyone's immigration case is different. Doesn't even matter if you're coming from the same country because you could have two people that qualify for the same application, but then one person has a DWI that they got 5 to 10 years ago.
Mhm.
And, for an American citizen, okay, you could get that expunged and you don't have to ever worry about it.
Right.
Well, that it's not that easy in the immigration system. Even
Got
though it's from 5, 10 years ago, they could try to use it to negatively impact your application.
it. Mm.
Yeah.
So in any type of infraction or law interaction that you have, you would say it weighs more for somebody who is trying to immigrate here than it potentially would for an American citizen who can go through a certain process to get things expunged.
Definitely, definitely. And it also depends on the state that you're in,
Mhm.
because when it comes down to immigration law, you have to look at the state law and see what that charge is classified as, and then compare it to the federal law, which is immigration law, to see if it's been heightened or if it's been reduced.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Okay. So it sounds like a lot of hoops. That's what I got from this so far.
Yes,
It
yes,
sounds
yes.
like a whole lot of loops. Could you tell us what can we be doing in our advocacy? Like I would say well, this show does garner international support. We have some people from Australia that come on in the stream and we love them down under. Oh yes, down under. We're live down under. But the majority of the people are here in the States. So what can we do for those of us that see that there's an issue? We may not be all the way in the trenches,
Mhm.
but we want to advocate. We believe at least that people should get a fair shot to immigrate here. We believe at least that they should be at least treated humanely and as humans, whether we decide to keep them here or send them back. So what is something we, the lay person, the general public, can do to help in advocacy?
I would say volunteer. So in every state, there are immigration help organizations. I know out here in Houston, we have the Catholic Charities. We also have the Baker Ripley. And those types of organizations, they actually have events where they help people fill out their applications. They gather a group of attorneys and a group of just regular citizens that want to help people with their application. And
I'm sorry, I just read a comment. Okay.
okay, so they help people, right? So I definitely will encourage everyone to get on Google, type in immigration pro bono organizations and see how you could be a part of it, because they definitely do need the help.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm over here looking at the stream. That was very good content or very good answer. Karen Lady Longlegs 85 Donaldson said, honestly, I'm trying to immigrate out of here. LOL. and
Look,
that completely took my Listen, sis, where are we going?
Right. Puerto Vallarta sounding real nice right about now.
Puerto Vallarta, look, and my stimmy just hit, so I'm rich, so I can go. I can go. I can buy me a piece of land somewhere. No. Okay, one more question. You have given us such valuable information, but we really just want to know. This is the main reason why we booked you to come on the show. We really just want to know. Is what we see on 90 Day Fiancé
what?
Is that real? Is that whole process of them dating and trying to bring somebody over here on a 90-day fiancé, is that a thing?
Yes, it is.
That's a thing. Okay.
It is a thing, yes.
Okay.
It's a thing. All I can say is I would say 98% of what you see is accurate.
As far as the legal process on the show.
Yeah. Okay. So there are different visas, but that particular visa, yes, it gives them 90 days to get married.
Yeah.
And then if they get, the United States.
And then when they get married, because I watched the show, and so then when they get married, they then become like, once they file adjustment of status, the American citizen then becomes like liable for them if they get a divorce or something like that. Like,
so it depends. Okay. And this is why, if you're listening and you need some assistance, hire an attorney, because you will have options available to you if you do get married to a U.S. citizen and the marriage turns out to be something that you don't feel like you bargained for. What I found with a lot of clients that I have is sometimes there's abuse in the relationship and they feel like they're trapped in the relationship because this person has essentially sponsored them to be in the United States. Right. So they feel like they can't go anywhere, and especially if they don't have their papers yet, right? But I just want everyone to know that you do have options. You should never feel like you should stay in a trapped situation just because this person is helping you get your status in the United States. They're your spouse. That's what they're supposed to do because you guys plan to live together forever, right? But just know you have options. And if you need some assistance, reach out to your girl, schedule a consultation, and we will get you right.
Shameless plug. Tell us how we can reach out to you.
Oh, definitely. You could follow me on Instagram at IFEOMA_, or you could give my office a call at 713-993-6510, or visit my website at www.ebedelaw.com.
Can you give us the phone number one more time? We want to make sure that people got it.
Oh, okay. I will go slowly this time. 713-993-6510.
Perfect. Ifeibede, thank you so much for being here. Thank you for educating us. I think so many gems were dropped. And again, everyone, if you need some type of immigration legal services or consultations, Ifeibede here in Houston, Texas is the girl you want to call.
Oh, thank you. And thank you for having me. I was nervous about this, but this is actually fun.
It's fun. I do this every day. It's very fun. And the people here are great. They love you in the comments. They're loving you.
Well, thanks, you guys.
Thank you so much.
No problem. Bye.
Bye.